Hey everyone, I hope you're well. I just wanted to share with you some of the symptoms I experienced before I received my HIV diagnosis back in 2021, and they appear to be the most common symptoms people experienced who are living with undiagnosed HIV. So the first one, and they're in no particular order, but the first one I experienced, and I would say probably the worst for me, was the fatigue that I would experience at times, and this was chronic fatigue. Sometimes it would last for a few hours and other times it would last for days, and I would sleep for 14 or 15 hours and wake up and still feel absolutely exhausted and drained, to the point I couldn't even get out of bed at times. It was that bad. The second symptom I experienced was weight loss. And steadily over a period of a good 12 months, I was losing weight, and that accelerated sort of 6 months before I was diagnosed, to the point where I eventually dropped down to about 7.5 stone. I don't know what that is in pounds, you'll have to Google that, but it's very, very light. It's in fact half my current body weight. So I was very light and I lost a lot of weight. The third symptom I experienced, and remember these are in no particular order, was a sore throat, and I would have it for a couple of weeks and it would go away all of a sudden for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back again. The fourth symptom was mouth ulcers, and I'm not talking about just getting 1 or 2 mouth ulcers. My mouth would be full of them, and they were quite painful at times and made it very difficult to eat. Another symptom I experienced, number 5, was night sweats, and I would wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and my bed would be absolutely soaking wet, almost like someone had chucked a jug of water on me, and I would have to change the sheets. It was that bad. So these are just a few of the symptoms I experienced leading up to my diagnosis, and they appear to be the most common sort of symptoms people experience who are living with undiagnosed HIV. But I'd just like to say as well, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're living with HIV. It could be another health condition or something else going wrong within your body. But the only way to know for sure is to get a HIV test. And that has been made very easy now. If you're living within the UK, for instance, you don't necessarily have to go to a sexual health clinic. You could ring up the clinic, they could send a test to your house, you could do the test, and then you send it back to the clinic, and you can find out that way if you're living with HIV or not. But I'd like to say as well, the treatment now has moved on massively since the sort of 80s and 90s, to the point now where I'm only having to take 1 pill each day to treat HIV. I feel better now than I've ever done in my life, and someone who's living with HIV now, their lifespan is just the same as someone who is HIV negative. It's actually easier to treat HIV now than it is diabetes. So things have moved on massively. The only thing that hasn't changed is the stigma around HIV. So that is why I do what I do today, to educate people about what it's like living with HIV now, as opposed to 20 or 30 years ago, when it was, a death sentence. But that's not the case anymore. So I hope this helps. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope you have a great day. Take care, everyone.